you doing, Internet and fellow Toastmasters? I'm B-Nuts, and today I'm going to take you through how to use Pathways, which is the new educational system which recombines the old competent communicator traditional method with the CL and opens up 10 paths from which you can choose. So you'll want to go to toastmasters.org and log in to your account with either your membership number, which you can find on your Toastmaster magazine, or any of your membership paperwork. And from here you can take the assessment, choose a path, or go directly to Basecamp, which is what I will do. A pop-up will appear for you to log in. A little insert in the window, I'm already logged in. So this is Basecamp. So from here you can choose your path, which will take the form of a questionnaire. You can go to your path and curriculum from here, or use the navigator to get you some help with some tutorials. And of course you can select different languages here. If I do path selection, even though I've already taken an assessment once, it will bring me here. And this shows the difference between the electronic Basecamp and if you elect to use the printed materials. And then you can take the assessment. It'll show you afterwards the top 3 matches for the responses that you give, and then it will allow you to choose. Now, do you have to choose from the top 3 choices? No. You can go back and you can look at the other 7 paths and their descriptions. If those don't click as much as one of the original 3, you can go back to those and choose one. So one of the limitations of the printed material, other than the lack of interactive portions, is that most of it is in English only. So if you want to use a different language, you will have to use Basecamp. Someone has used Chinese and printed out their evaluation forms in English to give to their evaluator and presented in English. It's just easier to understand the material and all the concepts for her in Chinese, so that's what she used. So you would take the assessment, do the quiz, and choose your first path. Your first path is free, and I believe there's 24 hours leeway where if you don't end up liking the path that you chose, you can go to Toastmasters and have it refunded. Back here in Basecamp, you would choose, well, first of all, you can, if you're a member of multiple clubs, choose which club you want your project to count towards. I'm only a member of one club. From a membership standpoint, I would log in as a member. Since I'm also a Basecamp manager as the VP Education, I also have this option, but that has more to do with stats and approving members' different levels. From here you can navigate around the Basecamp. You go over your transcript, any feedback that you've uploaded, badges that you attained. I've got the one, and speech evaluations that have been uploaded. Usually I think by yourself, so you can scan them in there. The most relevant thing, you can go to transcript through here or directly here. Click open curriculum and it will take you to this page. Now you do have to make sure that you enabled pop-ups. There should be from the first time a little icon that appears in your address bar, and you can change the rule to allow pop-ups from toastmasters.csod.com, and that will allow that to work. So when you go in, you will have the level 1 and you will be able to launch. Now I've completed all of level 1, but I can show you more definitively because this will only show from launch I can't complete it again. So I'll go to where I am at level 2. And as you can see, I only have one project that I can launch right now. The rest, they need to be activated only once the previous one has been completed. This is grayed out. I can't do anything with it. And the only option I have from there is launch or view training details. And you will find that options come down from these drop-down menus. So this isn't the most user-friendly or intuitive user interface ever, but I'm sure it will be continually refined. So you click the launch button, it will pop up and load. Be sure you maximize that, otherwise you won't see all of the navigation arrows. You need those to move around. Make sure that you have pop-ups enabled. I cannot stress that enough. So when you first open it up, you'll get to an introduction and you'll have all these explanations. You'll have the information that you would normally expect from a Toastmasters manual. You can navigate through these arrows left and right, and you can see the different resources such as the project checklist from there, and we'll guide you through what you are expected to do. And you can also navigate through this menu here at the bottom. That will allow you to go directly to one of the things. Now, you'll have 2 of these assess your skills questionnaires for at least I think most of the projects. You do one before. But as you can see, if you use the left and right arrow, it will take you right off to the next section, which is important because if you have not completed all of them, it does not register. So you need to complete all the questions before you can click off. You can see this next and thing has grayed off when you reach the end. It grays off at the beginning too. And click the more buttons to get more information. So click all the buttons. One thing that's most definitely important is this evaluation form, and it will open within your browser, but if you want to put in your name, you can't do that from here, so you'll need to download it and then you can print it and enter in all the relevant data there, or you can just print it and fill it in by hand or let your evaluator fill it in. So you have the first page with the purpose statement, which is what we used to call objectives, some rating system, and the criteria explanation. So for someone who's more seasoned evaluator, you may only need the first 2 pages, which you can do double-sided. So that is the evaluation form. And I need to go back to this. Now at the end, after you have done your presentation, you will take the Assess Your Skills after quiz. You need to select and click Next on each of them to show us by the dots how far along you are. Okay, and at this point, the Submit button only appears once you have selected one of these. Again, take it back, I guess. So I go back, and since I didn't submit anything, it didn't save any of them. See, the next is grayed out, and it doesn't have the submit even though I'm on the last one. If I clicked on this arrow, it would take me to the last page and say, congratulations, you've completed this. Actually, let me show you. But this will not have refreshed to show that it's completed and show you the option that you get from it. So I now need to go back and do this all over again. It is important that you click that submit button, and it will show you comparatively where you've rated before the project and after. So according to myself, I have improved after my presentation. And now you can click there, and when I close this window, I can now do the evaluate thing. And it's an evaluation of the project, not of myself or my presentation. So you still have the ability to launch it, but then you want to do the evaluation, and it's feedback of the project. I wonder why they don't have a strongly agree. Sometimes you have multiple presentations in one. And now I can activate it with this one already there, and this is now clickable. This still isn't, but then again, I haven't activated it yet. I could activate it, but it's better if I just take a look at the information one project at a time. So with pathways, you can't skip around as much, you can't plan ahead as much, because you need to activate your projects one at a time, and many of them have prerequisites, which will prevent you from going out of order. In some ways it's good, in some ways though it makes it harder to plan. So I've now landed here, and I will go through this level 2 project myself and start planning for my next presentation. From the Pathways Basecamp, you can gain access to the information. It doesn't actually talk to the Toastmasters International website, even though it's connected to it. So anytime you need the level completion, it's something that one of the executive can do for you. So you can see status not activated, status pending prior training. So you need these to complete that. So you can talk to the Basecamp manager, which is basically your VP Education, your president, and your secretary. So you can go to one of them if you're having issues. If you're still having issues, you can go to your Pathways ambassador for help. And that person should have shown up to introduce Pathways before it was launched. So if you don't know who it is, you can ask a member of the executive and they should know. So that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed it, if you found it useful, please do let me know. You can leave a like, comment below, subscribe to show your support for my channel, and visit my Patreon. So thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.